Hi everybody, welcome back to the Our Smiling Faces podcast, brought to you by Guillermo Clothing and GEORDIE Gifts.
Straight in there, Nina.
Deka.
One, you know. Get in.
You're loving it, aren't you? I love it. Absolutely loving it.
Of course I do. No, I'm worried that you have to prompt him to say it though. It's like he's like unaware that it's coming.
He just doesn't want to interrupt the intro, do you, mate?
Definitely don't want to interrupt you.
Is that what it is?
So I just sit and wait for me cue.
Wait for your moment to shine.
Moment in the sun, yeah.
So people have been asking for Deka merchandise. So we're winning our merchandise.
Happy days, aye.
So I said,
we're winning our 316, that would be good, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure about the 316, like,
Right.
but
Wrestling nonce.
I'm a little bit scared to do it because release a t-shirt,
No.
never win a game again. So there's no t-shirts coming.
Yeah,
no t-shirts.
Lost, you know.
No, on the top where you lift it up.
You can have a screensaver for your phone or something.
All right,
one
okay.
for your laptop or whatever.
Pin
Nah,
badge.
it's all good.
Make some pin badges.
It's all good fun. I make a pin badge, we won, you know. All good fun.
Good to get the podcast logo in the back where we won you now.
I'd like to say it 38 times a season, to be honest with you, that would be quite nice. But
Not the cups though.
fuck the cups. Those win the league.
Cups aren't a priority, remember.
Oh no, apparently not.
Oh, it's still not a priority.
I don't know, we haven't decided yet because we've only got the first game in a few weeks, haven't we?
Do we get free tickets for the cup? Get on to that later.
I know, Jesus.
So obviously weekend we saw Newcastle come from a game, they go down once again to go and take all 3 points.
For second victory within 3 days as well.
Turning St James's
4
Park
days,
into a fortress. Oh, will I say that yet?
Well, let's say it again, sounds amazing.
Fortress.
Come on, let's not get carried away.
Fortress.
Remember, it's
we've
still,
got a moat
still
and everything.
Steve Bruce.
Raoul moat.
So we've only
That's
lost
not
this
Raoul
one
Moat,
since
he's funny.
Arsenal, is that correct?
I believe so,
So
yeah.
August, whatever that was.
10th in the league, man.
First game of the season, wasn't it? Aye.
Unreal.
10th.
Aye, 10.
Jesus.
Imagine sitting here, coming up to Christmas.
When was the last time we finished 10th?
2 seasons ago.
Alright.
So
It's proper facts in the sky.
Fact.
Sorry, what was that?
I didn't say anything.
No, what I was going to say was, can you believe that? You know, if you were sitting at the beginning of the season when we were talking about getting Mourinho and Wenger, and then it turned out to be Bruce.
I thought it would
To
be
be
like...
sitting here now thinking would be 10th, and we've only lost once at home, we've only lost 1 in 7. I'd say you want drugs.
Oh, 100%.
Absolute drugs, real hot stuff.
I thought we'd be lucky to have 10 points by this period.
I'm with you, man.
I had were destined to be in the relegation zone.
I
Dead
thought
bottom
so as
like.
well, after Norwich and especially Leicester as well. Like, I
Well,
thought,
don't get ahead of yourself. Remember, we've got the sealed envelopes.
Well, we have. Yeah, we've got sealed
There's
envelopes.
Sealed envelopes. I'm feeling a little bit more confident about mine now.
He's got the 7th, I think. No, I'm joking.
Remember when we went to the Sky thing?
in Manchester,
So the
yes,
Manchester thing, then obviously you had a bit of a debate with Neville,
Aye.
basically saying that.
I didn't have a debate. I said something.
Well, you got then he just spoke to you, at you. He didn't really get you a chance again. And that was quite disappointing, that wasn't it?
He was high. Like Carragher was nice as 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Canny never was just like he was proper rude.
For the benefit of neutrality, I think Gary Neville can be all right sometimes.
No,
it's called a big debate. He wouldn't let anyone
We'll
speak.
never get invited back onto friggin' Sky, man, if we slag him off.
it's my turn. My only issue
Hi,
with
Gary.
Neville is I think he talks a lot of sense, but to me, when I hear him, it's only his voice, and if you don't agree with him, then you're wrong. Like he's not
Reminds me of somebody
anyone's
else,
opinion. I mean, it's amazing. Well, you're just wrong all the time, that's all.
That's the problem. You're just wrong.
If you were right, I'd probably agree with you sometimes.
Oh dear.
Right, let's get into the game. So, starting lineup, right? So, it was the same as what we had up against.
Same as
second half.
last weekend.
Second half.
Same as last weekend.
So the one before Sheffield.
One change for Sheffield.
So
with
the last
Carroll
home game
for Joe.
It's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
So obviously we weren't expecting Carroll to play 2 games in a row.
Oh God,
because he can barely walk.
No.
And
I'm surprised he gets out of bed in 2 days in a row. Like I think one day he just lies in bed all day. You know what I mean? So
just has a
Well,
rest day.
he only trains 2 or 3 days a week or something.
Yeah, which is
they were saying, weren't they?
that's fine, isn't it?
If that's how you get the most out of him, Leslie King didn't train every day either. I mean, he barely played either, like, but he was a good player when he did. Like, but if that's how you get something out of Carroll, instead of burning him out and training and having him fuck for the weekends, and do it.
You do it, don't you?
I'll take his dinner around.
Was anyone shocked to see Mankiw still keep his place? Or I don't know,
No,
he's had
I think
just a
Yedlin's-
couple of games where a lot of people have wanting Yedlin back in there.
Nah, he's only just came back into trainers, and so it's a bit of a there's no rush on it.
No,
Mankiw's been playing well.
He's done alright, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, maybe a bit of humble pie for me, I think, on that whole position, actually, yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised that I think Mankio has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and Almiron have been doing smashes
sound
together.
Defensively sound. And he does get forward occasionally. He set the goal up for Saint on the Sheffield United game, so he's not the slowest either. He's quite quick.
He's getting forward a lot more than he has in the past.
He's so switched on defensively, I think.
No, I agree with you.
Better than Yedlin defensively, for certain, I think. For certain.
So first off, let's just go. That was shocking, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
It was appalling. I glanced over. He was occasionally slumped over.
I was hungover. I was seriously hungover.
He didn't turn up until about the 44th minute.
I
just didn't communicate.
So I knew I was going to be late as I'm now making kick-off here. So you texting you out Felland in here, and I was like, I've only just got on it. He's cold in here. So that's a good half hour anyway.
Me and Adam were on about a third or fourth pint.
Then I think it was around about 15 minutes in, I just stumble into the ground and I just take my seat and I just slouch. And you, why
didn't even speak. It's only because he was sat next to us that I actually realised he was there.
It was me Christmas. It was me Christmas night out the night before. I strolled in at like 3:30. So it's Christmas. I was allowed to do it.
It's Christmas.
Then obviously I'm in St James's Park. It's pissing down. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Jesus Christ! That rain going in just before kick-off. Horrendous.
I want to mention something about the Platinum Club.
The Arigans, Tory
the burgers in there are currently next level. Honestly, you need to try and Besty.
I'm a man of burger, like
mate.
You'd be a mystic here.
Unbelievable.
I don't like the football levels, like.
They don't.
Honestly, they're unbelievable.
They don't let your sort in there.
No.
Of course they do.
Labour.
Labour. Exactly. He's got the stench of Labour about him.
I think that one I was having to go out is definitely a Tory.
He's far too centre to the left.
So first off, like we've said, absolutely dire. It was probably similar. He wasn't
Dubravka.
So once again, Dubravka's pulling out the shit.
Oh, come off it!
No, you're saying Bar Dubravka. I thought Saint was alright. Like, I've watched that clip on my phone 109 times today. Anyway,
is that when he megs him on the line?
It's absolutely brilliant. It was atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious.
It was similar, like obviously the Sheffield game. Let's be honest, it wasn't the greatest to watch.
But the Sheffield game, I've said since, was like it wasn't that dissimilar to Villa, except Newcastle didn't have that kind of mad 10 minutes defensively, and they scored a couple. Got one ordinary goal when I caught that, and obviously had the Shelby thing happen as well. Like so. It wasn't, I mean, it happened all the time last season as well. The Rafa, you'd win 1-0, lose 1-0, and the performances weren't that different. But there's kind of that little bit of, I suppose you call it like defensive solidarity and a little bit more cutting edge up front. That was a difference, and it made a huge difference that season. That last 2 seasons were Rafa, really.
I think when you look at our midfield, they don't like being rushed and pressed and hurried. They just like to take the time, and when we've struggled in the games, it's because their players just don't let us have any time on the ball.
That's something Southampton did loads in the first half.
Pressed it really well.
From him.
Villa did it the other week as well. It's like
I don't know if you listen to you might have the Chronicle podcast when they had the Southampton writer on. Like apparently he used to work for the Chronicle, but he moved down south and now he's the Southampton.
Is that the preview?
Yes, the preview.
Nah, I didn't.
He said on there that he says what you'll be in for a shock for is we'll press really high constantly.
Yeah. They did it from the front too.
I think the difficulty we have, right, I totally agree about midfielders. I've sat here and pissed and moaned about for a while, but the 3 centre halves we've got, I'm not taking anything away from them defensively at all. They can't play football, and I'm not trying to be awful. They can't.
Fernandez can. Clark and Dummett can it.
Right. So as soon as them get pressed, we're in big trouble. And you notice that instantly when we get the ball, it'll go back to Clark, say, fuck, stand back to Dubravka, and then we're going on. Yeah. And I think
Dubravka isn't the most comfortable with the ball at his feet as well.
When he first came, I thought he was. I thought he was when he first came.
He's all right, but he takes too many risks.
I don't want to say.
You wait until their strikers get right on top of him before he plays this. Like, for fuck's sake.
I know. I'm going to jump ahead for 2 seconds. Ignoring what Shea did later on, you noticed that when he got the ball, he's willing to take 2 or 3 touches, even when Ings is running away. Legion's the same. We will be a different side, I think, possession-wise when them two come back in the team.
We've had that kind of defender, like Colaccini was like that. Yanda and Biwa even.
Yeah.
Someone who
It's a continental style, isn't it?
Yeah. And I certainly don't want to sound like I'm not on the defenders that are doing a fantastic job at the moment. Absolutely not. I just mean that when we're getting pressed, they're very, very quick to go back to the goalkeeper because they're panicking, and you know, it's just, it is what it is.
They are defenders, those
Absolutely,
two, aren't they? That's the top and bottom of it. But it's a shame when you've got the others that are in there that can actually play a bit more comfortable on the ball as well.
A lot of the certainly earlier on they had a lot of the ball, Southampton, I thought, but in all fairness, it was in front of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They weren't really doing much, but the one chance they did have was when Williams gave the ball away. Williams had the ball on the left hand side and tried to almost just go like central almost. Terrible pass really, and then Redmond has to score there for me.
Yeah, he does. Like,
he
as well. Like, he's got to score.
I thought Redmond was unreal, like, for them.
I think he was
very, very good.
Yeah. Mind, after that, he had a good thing early on, like 5-10 minutes in, down in front of us in the strawberry corner. Had that chance, and then he seemed to disappear for a bit for me.
He then started coming back in the game because he moved more into the centre of the pitch and started playing a bit of a free role in there. But I thought him and Ward-Prowse as well. They were just causing all sorts of trouble.
I think the other, I need to just comment about the ref for a second. Absolutely terrible him. Like, I'm seeing people holding hands, free kick.
It got worse and worse and worse as the game went on. Second half was horrific.
Terrible. And so I believe that Southampton, that was their what's the word? Their tactic was go down because Ward-Prowse has one hell of a delivery. And they were getting free kicks and corners, and for us to deal with them for the full match, I thought it was incredible, to be honest, because his free kicks and corners were unreal.
Well, that's where their first chance came from, really, was that from the corner where it came across and it came out to Redmond, and he rifled it in Dubravka. I mean, that was the second save from Dubravka, and it was unbelievable.
That was directly after the first save.
So he literally, you got a standing ovation for that save.
It's
unbelievable.
We don't see it very often, especially coming from a goalkeeper. But when he pulled those two saves off, he went and collected the ball, and the whole Gallagher corner going in the east stand, everyone stood up and just started clapping.
That's it. Like, literally, as soon as he said, I was just up and
like,
it was like something taken away. We did that. Obviously, you expect that when you're away from home because that's just what it is, isn't it? But
you just saw like little pockets of people standing up, and everyone else like, we've got to stand up and physically applaud that because that was absolutely fantastic.
Did you notice that just before the ball went out to Redmond, it probably whacked Willems right straight in the mush. Which it was. I think that was the first one of about 3 that I can remember of players getting booted in the face by the ball.
That was
I just thought, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to probably knock on the hand. People might not like it, but it's Joe Linton up front. I'm sorry, it's just not working, is it? It's just not working. It might not be his position, fair enough. It might not be, but I'm sorry. Has to do more.
So the one moment which is standing out, obviously, where I think is it early in this? Oh no, it's in the first half where
he goes.
Saint's running through. He picks the ball up. Saint's running through, and he plays it to Joe. And Joe's. It was similar. Do you know how Almiron got the ball stuck on his feet the other week? It was similar to that, and it just. It's like you said. It's not happening for him, is it?
His touch was hot. His touch was worse. His touch was harder than the pass. It went further away from them than it was just an awful.
He took it too far, didn't he?
Yeah. Brought that lad's ankles in the halfway.
He picked up. I think Saint picked up in his own half. Then he's away. Like he
just played him through.
I was screaming for Joe Linton to move away. Move away and allow either the defender to have to go to Saint or the defender marks you and you Saint's in.
Yeah.
He almost got in Saint's way, I felt. He was almost getting narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower. Saint gave him the ball, and as you just covered, the touch was terrible, you know. And is that confidence?
Well, I don't know if he was trying to take him across so that Saint could then come across and either say draw him or take it. But
go across, it was dreadful. It was dreadful. And that's where I'm thinking either that's confidence or that's not that lad's position.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. But for £40 million, and I know people might say it's just money, for £40 million, he has to understand if a player's running towards you, you need to move to make space or whatever it might be. Take a defender away. Surely you're clever enough and wise enough to know that.
There was a point, it was later in the game, was just before he went off, where he's come short for a couple of balls and it's almost as if he's trying to avoid the ball. There was one where Almiron, I think, was trying to flick one on and he went like towards Almiron but away from where the only way the ball could go.
Yeah.
And like that's confidence. That must be confidence. To avoid the.
It's like shying away from it.
I'm not saying he's actively trying to, because that's quite an allegation.
Yeah.
But it felt as if he just didn't want it. Like
there just seems to be a lack of understanding between them.
Yeah.
When he's doing it, and I think like everybody's gone on about Andy Carroll in the second half and him changing the game and all this kind of thing and being amazing, but the biggest thing for me out of him coming on was we massively changed our formation when he came on the pitch. Almiron and St. Maximum effectively went directly behind him and played alongside of him, just off him and stuff like that. Why don't they do that when Joe Linton's on the pitch?
I'm going to disagree slightly, because the thing for me with Carroll, right, is that he just puts himself about and he's aggressive. And I still feel that when Joe Linton's on, it's all like sort of, well, I am trying and I am running and I'm doing this and I'm winning a few headers from goal kicks. It's not when Carroll's on, he is a man possessed to win that ball. And there was a few times, I'm going to be honest, there's a few times where the ball free kick wise, I sent me down and went, what the hell's going on? Carroll was against 4 Southampton players and Almiron was right on the other side of the field. And I don't know if you've seen it, Carroll was going, what are you doing? Like, come to, because even if Carroll wins the header, there's nothing going to happen. It's just, I don't know, I think when Carroll's on, you get an extra 20% because maybe it's the shirt. I don't know what it is, but
it gives everybody a lift.
I don't think you can train Joe Linton to be Andy Carroll in that regard. You can't
they're
train someone
not.
to be brave.
They're not the same player.
No, they're not.
That's the thing. And
but
like,
something has to change, because I'm sorry, I'm all for giving players time rather than Jacob Murphy. I'm all for giving players. I'm all for giving players time.
I don't know. Joe Linton's becoming your latest one.
No. Hey, what did I say after Sheffield United? What did I say? Well, that lovely shawarma and that wherever we were. And I said I thought he played well when he come on. And I slipped on his arse like Riviere. But I actually thought he played well when he come on. And I even put on Twitter, I think he scored the day, like, Jesus Lord. Couldn't score in the fucking Quayside. So, you know what I mean? You know,
but that's like
that's my say.
It's like we say, he cannot be a bad player when he's good one week and not the next. There's something not right.
The other thing,
you've got to help him out.
And someone threw the ball. Was it the first half? Threw the ball and he was away. The quick throw in it was, and he was away, bombing towards goal. He got about 7-8 yards out and still wouldn't have a shot. Still wouldn't pull the.
I think that's the one I'm thinking.
I know
of,
it's a bit wide.
it
was a bit wide. Don't get us wrong, but come on.
Is that the one? Is it not the one where like their defender slid in or something like that? Yeah, and there was a bit half of a shout for a penalty or something.
The box he was.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of before.
Don't get us wrong. He span. He did well. You know, he's heading towards goal.
He still took it in too deep.
I was talking to the lads. I'll go with on go the game with him. But we're saying like at no point just after he picked the ball up there, did you think I can score here?
Yeah.
Like, you know how when like
probably he didn't.
Probably no. I don't think that's a confidence thing. Again, I think how like if it was Denver Bar, for instance, you think like he's going to do it.
Edgy, you see, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but at least even like the championship.
It doesn't help though that every time the ball goes near him or anything like that, you hear massive groans in the crowd and stuff like that. How can his confidence not be shot with the reaction that's going on?
I want to touch on that. Obviously, getting into the second half. The first half, literally, there's nothing really to go on about.
Beating them 3 players was one.
The two saves from Dubravka.
Yeah, the strength as well. He gets pushed off the ball and just comes straight around him.
Yeah. So obviously, going out second half, there's a replacement straight away. Clark's gone off, and Fabian Shares came on. I'm not sure what happened.
I've never heard of.
Was this?
Calf injury. The one, sorry, apologise, I'm hogging this a bit. Was that the only thing that was surprising was Shea went centre half. When centre out of the 3, I didn't agree with that personally. I think he should have went the right and Fernandez to centre.
Yes.
So I think I didn't.
We said that, didn't we?
I've got it when you were talking about Mankio earlier and how it was when he's playing. I'm just wondering, and it might be fucking nonsense, so humorous though. Is it because he's got a Spaniard player next to him and a Spanish speakers?
Fernandez we were talking about this.
Didn't you say last week Fernandez was guiding Mankio the
Yeah, we were talking about it after the match as well, and like saying that you could see Fernandez constantly talking to Mankio again.
Could it be as simple as that because he's got Spanish speakers around him? Maybe it's just easier for him. He's not going to do a second language. I don't know what his English is like.
That's a fair point.
Well, obviously Almiron in front of him speaks Spanish as well. You've got so it's like that. Them 3 there.
Yeah. They would not say this about someone like last season. That they spoke perfect English. Well, you're not sure how to speak English. Perfect English.
Well, Mankio does in all of his interviews and stuff like that in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
He's been in the like. He's been here for quite a bit.
Almiron's they're mostly in Spanish as well.
Almiron's learning English, but I think he said it numerous times he can speak English, but he's not comfortable speaking English in front of a camera.
That's fair.
But Mankio's been over here for A long time, man. He was.
He must be able to speak English. I'm not having that. Like,
well, I'm sure.
Pochettino took years, didn't he?
I'm sure I watched an interview on NUFC TV where he was speaking English recently. I'm not saying it was fantastic.
No, I can just.
It's a shout though. He's pretty good.
I can just
Obviously,
remember.
He's more comfortable speaking.
Of course,
that's fine. I'm just thinking, you know, over time, Shea's always been the right of the three and etc. Because he always plays them diagonal balls, and then he hasn't played for what feels like about 10 games, and you bang him in centre out of the three. I don't know, but
right. Let's get on to their goal. So it's. I don't even know how to describe it. So after the game, their manager's pissing and moaning about Newcastle humping the ball and long ball football. This is where their goal comes from.
They just hoofed it, didn't they?
Very bad, wasn't it? No.
And is it sure that
Does
he hear a voice in his head that tells him to leave it, or
it does sound like he's getting a shout from someone?
Because no attempt, is it? Like nothing.
Well, he ducks.
He ducks underneath it.
He ducks underneath it, but it looks like it's going over him anyway. I think
yes,
it looks like that. Even if he goes for it, he might not do it.
I don't know whether he just thinks. Does he think he's closer to the box?
Does he think the keeper's right behind
him, or what?
It's a strange one.
During the match, I said, "I'm sure he's had a shout there for to do that."
Aye.
But like, he's about 30 yards out.
Nah, there's no one even here because obviously you've then got Fernandez and their players like the other side, like Niwenya, and he just like all of a sudden goes, "Oh, hello, I'm in here."
Fernandez tries to bust a gut to get there as well, doesn't he?
He comes close.
I thought Ings did amazingly after the goal. I don't know if he's probably doing, but I don't know if he's ever seen the highlights on the telly in the ground. Do you ever stay back from that? They show the same goal, I think, about 30 times from every angle.
Even if we did, we wouldn't be able to see it from where we sit.
So anyway, and I've seen the goal, and Ings done amazingly in that, to be fair.
It was a good finish. Like,
he takes the first touch, and obviously you're right to say Fernandez. He takes another touch to take it away from Fernandez. It's really good.
He just takes it across the
so close, Fernandez. Like so close, like getting there.
Yeah.
Dubravka can't do much about that. It's one of those things. It's a mistake where you're going to get those throughout the season.
And being honest, I know it sounded a bit daft here because we just talked about the two chances they had in the first half. I never really felt them were going to score. Like, to be honest, I felt that we were quite comfortable. There
was a couple of times.
Not until later. Well, it was later on.
Was that one like Bertrand puts
Bertrand, Jesus, how he misses that.
There was another one, I'm sure, where
this one goes just across the 6 yards.
Similar with a free
header. Second half.
Yeah.
So it's like
right
talking before the goal. I didn't really ever feel any trouble.
No.
And then when he came out, I felt because we all talk about how much we want to share out in the team.
Yeah.
Everyone asked loads of people on Twitter. I was saying, oh, if he's not in the team again, he'll be getting upset. In January he's coming. Puts him on. He done that. I was like, fuck hell.
I thought that they started the second half really well. The first 5-6 minutes, they really got up there. In front of he stands at Maximin Williams. They were getting about and couldn't quite get the shots away. Like, but they were.
I think Joe had a similar thing we've just talked about with the throw-in when I was on about. Joe again, very very early on the second half, started on the left hand side and burst into the box again, and again wouldn't shoot. And then he stopped and just like he went back to Williams, and then it broke down. I think just drive. If you're driving in, just have a go.
He's waiting for his chance where he's 1-on-1 for keeper. That's the problem, isn't it?
It reminds us loads of the season after Cissé's first full season where he just didn't score, and in the end it was against, I think his first goal came home from West Brom where someone's had a shot and it's bounced off his knee and gone in. It was a proper. It just fell out and he couldn't not score. And I think like he ended up scoring like 10 goals that season. Joe Linton, you'd like to think. It might be just he might never score again, but you just want something like that to fall to him. Almiron as well.
What's the same Almiron, isn't it? You just want to go in off the arse or something like that.
When he scored against Spurs, I thought this is it. He took his ball, really took the press down, finish. I thought, oh, this is it, and then you are where you are type of thing.
First game of the season against Arsenal, he had a really similar chance, but he got closed down. But it looked sharp. His touch was good, and he got into. You think, he's got something about him, and it just hasn't happened since.
I feel like we're bashing him having to draw the second half, but I will say this. I'm sorry to say this, but the fastest I think I seen him move was when he come off. He sprinted when he come off.
So speaking about him going off, I listened to, I think it was a Chronicle podcast this morning, and I think it might be Lee Ryder. Don't quote us on that one, but I think it is. He says that it's good to see the support he was getting off the fans. I was thinking, is that who it was? That's the other way around.
So for me, there was a cheer.
It's a sarcastic cheer.
When he got took off.
No,
I think it was a bit of that.
You could 100% hear from
a bit of a cheer for Carroll coming on.
That's what it was.
But I've had a theory. I had a theory years ago. I remember it was about Jeremy. So this is like years and years ago. He was warming up and the fans started cheering around him. But that was because someone else was warming up next to him. And I was thinking, like, why not do that? Like when someone's shit, like who the fans not like at the minute? If Joe Linton's on the bench, starts warming up, and the fans are going to be lukewarm and kind of go, get like Les Ferdinand next to him or something like that. He doesn't want to, so the fans start cheering at Swing and Joe Linton.
Get a bit of confidence boost.
I've got a bit of a...
Well, put Lesnar full strip with the two
I think he's a bit busy at Spurs at the minute.
No, I get your point. I'm with Besty in that regard. I think I stood up and applauded. I did. I was applauding because I seen Carroll coming on.
When the board went up, there was a from the East Stand there was a way.
Yeah, I thought
it was a sarcastic one.
I thought it was a bit of.
It wasn't a cheer.
I don't think it was an appreciation of Joe Linton's efforts. It was a bit of ironic cheer, a little bit for Carroll coming on as well.
So I feel like I'm bashing him here. Like, what was your thoughts? I feel like I'm the only one here bashing him.
Apparently, even he said he was shit.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players came out. I think Williams came out as well, didn't he?
I didn't get that though. Why
he wasn't good.
Williams came out.
He wasn't as bad as the way he was making.
So he tweets out saying not a great performance personally or something like that, but who cares? We won't have something like that.
Absolutely right. And listen, not many players can play well every single week. We've played 3 games in 6 days. Yeah. Fuck me, everyone's entitled to a day off. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think Williams was hard on himself. I thought Hayden was brilliant. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It was excellent, Hayden. Yeah. And he put on Twitter, I was poor the day. Like, I disagree completely.
Just to touch back on that Joe Linton one going off, I think if you're going to cheer a player coming on the pitch, you cheer them when they come up across the line onto the pitch. Yep. So I'm not cheering Carroll because he stood waiting to come on the pitch. Yeah. I'm going to cheer him when he's on the pitch. Yeah. So that's
you've never actually had anyone wonder if you've seen someone take the top jersey off or something? Oh,
nah.
100%.
No, I tend not. I'm the same as you, Kris. I tend not to either. I mean, you do get sometimes.
But you did when Ben Arthur was coming on.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. I think when it was Carroll or when Saint come on against someone for his first time this season, obviously because he came from the bench. When I seen him warming up, I was like, "Oh, get in!" And I did. Like, I'll be honest.
If I was Joe Linton going off from there, I would have felt like utter shit. Yeah. Like shit.
That was my first reaction. Was I can't believe people are doing that.
Twice now.
I've never cheered ironically. I booed someone coming up ever in my life. Never done.
You do hear it. We hear it all the time, James, and that's why I wouldn't say it's a surprise at it. It's what we perceive to have happened, but it's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Another point was made, I think, during that Chronicle podcast. It might have been, I listened to that one before coming up as well. So I don't know. I don't know which one it was, but another point was made about. Now I can't remember what it is. What was it?
It really resonated with him.
Shit, never mind.
Did we get back on it? Right, so shall we just get on now? I go.
Aye. What was it?
You still think? Look at that. So does anyone want to talk through that one? Do you want to see? So it's
my boy.
Starts from a. Was it a free kick or a corner?
It was a free kick.
Free kick, wasn't it?
Free kick from Shelby. We did the old classic Pardew to Williamson thing, which I hate. Is put the big man back post. He's going to hopefully cross.
Well, he kind of went right around deep as if to head it back into the middle, didn't he? But
that's the idea.
It went out and then.
Well, this is what I love Andy Carroll, right? I do. This is what worries me when he comes on the pitch. That it seems like when a player gets the ball, they just think lump it.
That was doing my head in.
Especially to the back post. Yeah. It worked against Southampton because Andy Carroll was fantastic when he came on. Like you said, he there was once where the ball. Do
you know how many headers he won when he came on?
I just disagree.
Do you know how many headers he won when he came on? 2.
He would have won 2.
He won 2 headers when he came on.
He won 17 when he was fucking defending.
He won.
Is that an official stat? Is that what you've just counted?
Utter bollocks, Mark.
He's won more than
2 headers.
He's won more than 2.
I'm telling you,
mate. Right,
I'm telling you.
Listen to what I want to say. Listen, right. I seen him make.
Get his stats, Adam.
Listen, I seen him make 2 defensive headers.
Adam agrees.
Just listen for a second. I seen him make 2 defensive headers, and he did another one, and this was the
he made defensive headers. Yeah.
So did he win more than 2 then?
That's not winning.
What? So hang on a second.
No.
Come on.
Do you cannot class him winning a header when he's defending and he's in the box.
Of course he can. He's the first one to hit the ball.
Clearing a corner. Okay. Winning headers when he's up front as a striker. Then I'll get very specific around what I'm talking about. So when he's doing what he's meant to be doing. And he sits here and talks about Joe Linton not winning headers, and he's won the most headers in the league.
Does he really?
I think, is it in the league or in our team?
No, in the.
Is that including defensive headers, or is that just?
You never goes back for them. I'll give you when he was defending. He took wrong there. When he was up front, Balls coming on, little flick-ons and stuff like that too. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I am telling you.
I don't know how we're going to figure out this stat out because it doesn't separate it as striker headers and defender headers. No. So I don't know how we're going to find this out.
You sat there and watched them.
Did he change the game? Well, I tell you, one of them.
No.
What?
No.
He doesn't. Are
you kidding?
Mark, you are.
He did not change the game.
You are taking the.
Are you just doing this to wind him up now?
It's what I said before when we were talking about the game. What changed massively was Almiron and St. Maximin both came in and started playing alongside of him, behind in free rows.
That's the result of how he plays, though, because you want them playing close to you so that when he wins a header, you've got someone in the close proximity.
That would be alright if he actually won a header.
Well,
Carroll was decent when he came on, mate.
Look, he came on, he put himself around, and the game changed.
I can think of 4 already in my head now when he won from goal kicks. And the one that was the biggest laugh I've ever seen in my life, and you must remember this.
When he headed it back,
he chased
it down.
I chased it down. I can count 4 already in my head that he won.
It might have been 3.
So,
there was one where he actually did
flick it on. Can I just ask
a
question, sorry? Have you seen this written on paper or on a phone or on a stat or on a website, or is this your own?
I watched it with my eyes.
Right, you're fucking wrong. I don't believe you think St. Maximin was left footed. I'm not believing you. I'm not believing your mind or eyes. I'm sorry. I love you.
Would you believe Adam?
Probably I would actually.
Adam, what was your opinion on the matter?
Well, bloke that's really tall, he can't jump.
Because he hasn't got any ankles. Of course he can't jump.
Well, the manager thought he was 10 foot, so he was doing something right. The
game changed both because we changed the way we played. We put it up him. We were lumping everything, as we've talked about, lumping everything up to him. Almiron and St. Maximum essentially went and played right alongside of him. That gave us so.
I'll tell you when it changed. They played the formation that I hope we're going to play moving forward because Saint's out. He brought Longstaff on, we went 3 in centre midfield. Pray to God we'll see more of the ball. And he put Maximum behind Carroll. He put Maximum as a 10, just behind him floating. Maximum was going to the middle, he was right, he was left.
Well, Almiron was there as well before Longstaff came on.
Perhaps, but with Miggy now, I think, hopefully, I'm hoping honestly, is that he'll play that role behind Carroll and we'll have 3 centre midfielders.
Carroll's not going to be playing though.
Well, but it'll be Joe and Miggy then.
But that's the thing, if Joe Linton's, if you're going to play with them two when you bring Carroll on, why can't you do it when Joe Linton's on the pitch?
I'm so looking forward to these responses in this video.
I disagree. Honestly, I have to disagree. I'm sorry, I have to disagree.
I thought Carroll did change the game. Like, it just seemed all the players on the pitch got a lift.
But that makes it sound like he came on and single-handedly pulled us back into that game.
He had a big help hand
at all.
No. Yeah, he played a part. Like there was one where the ball was going. He was running from the East Stand towards Milburn. 2 Southampton defenders here, and he cleaned them both out.
How on earth he done? I know.
And it's Joe Linton, for all the headers he's won, wouldn't have done that.
No.
And it's the physical threat that he carries and him coming on. One of my favourite Newcastle photos goes back years and years. It's before a game. I think it's either where Chelsea played, Stamford Bridge or Goodison. And it's Shearer and Ferguson shaking hands to kick off. That game hasn't started. Shaking hands. And can you imagine being a centre half, being
watching them too?
Frank LeBeuf goes look, think shit, I'm gonna get hurt today. And Carroll's got that about him. I'm not saying he's as good as Shearer and Ferguson. They were unreal. But
that's it. He's going to come on and he's going to put himself about. So he gives more effort and commitment to fight for the ball and stuff like that.
His cross for Shelby.
It's brilliant cross. Brilliant. It was a very good.
And if you're putting your money on anyone to score a header, it's definitely not going to be Shelby.
I have no idea how he got himself that high up in the air to get that in.
For some reason, when you say a ball player, I think it's going to just slip off. He's got any friction on there. I mean, up and down. What's the?
It's doubly, man.
I think
we've got more addition.
That can be the next Mark versus Deka. We'll just hold your ball up and see who gets the best connection on the heat. But we'll make sure we're not doing defensive ones.
I think so sure. All right. I'm not taking your point at all, actually, but I've heard you.
Quelle surprise.
Would you say defensively, though, he really, really helped on corners and stuff? Especially when...
a couple of times. There was one good header that he did late on where he just cleared it well out of the box. He was more or less on the penalty spot, wasn't he?
Right, yeah. Honestly, I'm with the 99% of the audience that Carroll was the game changer. And the reason I'm going to praise Bruce so much He made that substitution, I think, on 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Took some balls, like.
See, that's the thing. That's where you need it.
Yeah, you're right. You're spot on.
That's where you need to look to. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but that's where you've got to look to put some praises on Bruce's shoulders for making those changes and stuff like that. But
no, it is. I'm sorry. How many times have I? And I'm not criticising enough, but we would sit and I have done it. So
Bruce apologist.
No, I have sat at games and thought, God, 75 minutes and we're having scoring. It's 85 minutes. And I've done the same on Bruce. Joe Linton hasn't been to trap a bag of sand. Come on, mate, it's time to get him off. And then this day, he thought, John, 55 minutes have gone. We haven't even looked like scoring. I'm going to change it. And look what happened there. You praise too.
I just think the way some people are going on about Carroll is it's like it's the second coming of Christ and stuff like this.
Jesus coming on the pitch.
Yes, he played well, but it
that
wasn't.
Tackle he done on the far side.
The East End.
He took the board out, the fans out. Would you see Joe Linton doing
He nearly fucking broke his leg on the sign as well.
Buildings, dude, what
I found funny, he won the ball, clearly, obviously, he's kicked it out to play. He then turned around and thought, I'll fucking win it again. It's already out to play. But anyway, you're not going to see Joe Linton doing that, are you?
But I'm not trying to compare them two for like and say that, you know.
So do you think we would have won the game if Joe had stayed on the pitch? There's my question for you. Would we have won 2-1?
It's not.
You don't know, but it's probably unlikely.
You don't know, but it's probably well, you've got more chance of winning the lottery, my friend. There's no chance, man. There's no chance.
I just think to almost single-handedly put the result on Andy Carroll is ridiculous in my eyes.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that he was. I'm not saying that he was. No, because I had this. We were having this conversation after the game. Yes, he came on and he done well, but he didn't single-handedly drag us and make us win that game. Where you get a player that'll do that. He brought others into the game. Yes, he might put the cross in for Shelvey and stuff like that. You could say that it was Shelvey that won the game for her. Christ, have I just said that as well? What is wrong with me today?
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Let's move on, because we've got a fair few questions about this and the question answer. So
the cross was unbelievable.
Brilliant.
Shelby's
good header.
Class.
Yeah.
It was like a switch of roles, wasn't it?
Winning free kick Alan run as well. There was a high foot.
You're right, yeah.
I don't think he's caught him, like, but
nah.
Do you know what's
dangerous play though?
He lay on the field, stamped and kicked and roll and got yellow card. He got straight back up. It's fucking meant that. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, cracking header. Shelby was great because, in my opinion, they took the free kick. He didn't just stay out there. He just decided to wander in.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one was looking at him because they were following the ball.
Well, who expects Shelby to get up and score a header?
And Carroll's chased that ball down. He could have just let that go. Chases it down.
Defensively, I'd be furious for Shane Long. Head it out for a corner. Just clear, just out the play and then reset. But he tries to head it away, which then allowed. But anyway, so I'm taking that away from Carroll. Carroll runs after it, puts the best ball in ever. Our strikers always seem to do. She rolls a min cross. They're just all.
Very good cross.
And I'm going to give even more credit to Bruce here. The change I was screaming for was the change that he made afterwards. So bringing another centre midfielder on, because obviously why don't he just played on the Thursday night? Hayden and Shelby, they were starting to like lose it a little bit in midfield, and you're thinking they're going to get back into this. And
well, we even said that at half time, didn't we? Was that we needed some fresh legs in midfield, because I think that's what really impacted in the first half, is everybody on the pitch just looked tired. They looked like they played 2 games in 3 days.
We were at the game on Thursday and I was screaming out to bring another player in midfield. We'll get no run in midfield every game I watch, because we've only got 2 in the middle. And I've been screaming out at certain points in the game, let's put 3 in the middle. He brought Sean on for the Farmer on, which I totally agreed with. Perfect decision to do that. And you're about to explain why, I think, because he had the shot, didn't he?
So obviously we'll just go straight on our second, to be honest with you. So Longstaff has the shot, if I remember right. Keep our powers it out. And it is.
It's a good shot. The shot reminds us of Matty's goal against Man U.
I think when you look at it, it takes a little bit of a deflection.
No, doesn't.
I'm not saying like a big wild one, but it takes a little nick, which maybe just takes it.
I think it skids off
away from the keeper.
I think it's been earlier. And the keeper just, speaking as part of the union, and they're hard to deal with. I mean, it was a bit.
I came through a crowd of bodies as well.
It was a bit rebellious just to push it in the line of like you had
get it away from you.
It was a bit Tim Krul, I thought, to be honest, but that's...
We went through.
No, we went through.
Cast my hands on it. No, but the thing I have to give credit to both Longstaffs, and we've seen it time and time again, they can strike a ball. Matty can, Sean
Good technique.
It doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't matter what sort of ball it is either. They create that chance a lot of the time, the two Longstaffs.
Yeah.
Well, even if the ball's fired at them, they'll figure out a way to get a shot.
Yeah.
And if the Longstaff one, like how so calm he is with that one, and even Sean Longstaff, which game was it? I'm sure it was a home game where he gets a ball and he controls it, and it's a delicate, tiny little touch to his right hand side, and he brays it in. I can't remember.
It's not Man United.
I can't remember.
No, that was Matty.
That was Matty that scored that one. Sean.
No, he had one where he had a shot at the Lees's end.
Was he hit the bar?
That was the bar one. Was that not Matty as well though?
No. Well, Matty hit the bar on a volley, like a half volley, and we all thought that was going to be his first goal. But Sean hit one. I just thought it was last year, mind you. I don't know if it was last season, but he hit one from miles out and he hit the bar. But bottom line is both of them can strike the ball.
Strike it, really sweet. Yeah.
And
he's a great option to bring on at that time of the game as well. Great option.
Yeah. I want to see them three more.
And given that he'd come in for a little bit of stick earlier in the season as well, and
he didn't have a good start.
Maybe it's kind of we got overexcited last year and it's starting to tip a little bit. And maybe this is the right thing to do, introduce him into games. He made a difference. Well, he won the game, because obviously Carroll won the game, as we've already discussed.
but that's me, boy. How can you put it all on Carroll's shoulders when Long's...
Well, let's just put on the shoulders of Newcastle. We'll put on the shoulders of Newcastle, right? Just the local lads. Bruce, Carroll and Longstaff.
I thought, in the praise, no one's talking about, I thought was Fernandez's finish.
Great.
What a finish, man. The keeper went low, so he
up.
Put it up.
It would have been so easy. How many centre-halves you see, like, I would have just put that in a row there.
Honestly,
yet again, though, the good thing is we had 4 or 5 players steaming in on that ball, hoping for a little bit of a spill, which we thankfully got.
I just honestly, the character of the players at the moment, like in terms of coming from behind City twice you've went behind against them. You're 1-0 down after an hour, and to come back in the Premier League, I think it's a big thing to do. I really do.
Well, it's been a long time where we just didn't ever do it. Once you went one down, that was it. Game over.
Something I said, I think, on the last podcast after the Villa game was like, but these are the games we need to be winning, the league within the league kind of thing. Yeah. And that was one that Saturday. Sorry, yesterday was one. Yeah. Where Southampton are going to be. They've won the last 2 games. They're going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. You'd imagine, in the put away. To
be fair, I think the fact that they have had a run of form probably played more into our hands, because it meant that they had a bit of... They actually wanted to come out and play football and try and trouble rather than just sitting back and wanting us to break them down, which I think we would have massively struggled to do.
I know, it was a horrible game. There was a point in the first half where, when you get those videos of like hashtag greatest league in the world, and it's just up in the air. And
it was terrible, wasn't it?
20-second period where it was like, I thought,
just get down on the floor.
Half time I was thinking, this referee, call it off now.
And it was lashing down like every 3 minutes. It was lashing down and stopping, then a couple of minutes again.
There was a massive lack of quality in terms of certainly. It was like, we had it to you, and I was like, come on, someone put your foot on the ball. Do you know what I mean?
But both teams, and certainly we're on set up to kind of take games to teams for the most part. Start the second half had a good go at it, but I was thinking that before the game, the Man City game, the Tottenham game, the Man United game, we've sat on the back foot and broke.
Yep.
Last season we did it loads as well. And
that's what we did against Sheffield United as well, because they had to go.
There's certain teams you play against, to be honest. You have no other choice but to play like that, because they're just that damn
good. That's it,
your Man Cities of the world, you just have to, unfortunately, regroup.
And that's why I think we get results against those teams, because it suits the way we want to play. But when you come against teams that just play like we do, who want you to come at them, we won't do it, and that's why it then turns into a really scrappy, awful game.
I certainly don't want to be negative, really, to be honest, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not worried about the long term. I don't want to look at the long term, so I'm just trying to enjoy now. But being, constantly game after game having 30% possession and stuff like that, and 2 shots to go or 3 shots and winning, it's going to run out.
Yeah,
it's going to run out.
It's something I was thinking.
It's done well for the last 2.5 seasons.
I'm not saying it hasn't. I just think it's going to run out.
When I've been thinking about what I'm going to say tonight, doing this and all that, and I thought I don't want to be negative again. Same thing. I don't want to be perceived to be he's being negative about Bruce. And I think Bruce is actually doing okay. Certainly by what I thought he'd be doing. But that wasn't a good game for the most part.
No, it wasn't.
It was an awful game of football. And I mean, the chances I'm sure I can think ahead of Southampton missed that weren't or certainly weren't the highlights that I saw. I didn't want to pay
Burton had a hell of a chance.
At the end, when
The
it
Burton
across,
one, yeah.
they probably come to him a bit too quick, maybe.
Yeah, right.
He's literally unmarked for post.
Yeah.
He's just got to put it in.
It's really similar to the Bournemouth one a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's that game of if they both go, if some puts up Bolton, not right. But if they both go in, that's 4 points dropped.
Sheffield had one as well that night as well.
They did. Oh, they did.
I'm going to be. I totally agree, and I'm being honest here as well. I remember that a lot of times last season, where last season, for all we had a good defensive record, there were still games where I thought, Jesus, how's he not scored there? Or you know what I mean? We'll live it with a little bit on a knife edge at times, I feel. But listen, anyway, don't want to try and dampen the mood. You know,
it's nice to actually come out of the match and say, God, that was awful, but at least we won.
Of course,
yeah.
Because we've came out loads of times and gone, God, that was awful, and it's been a boring draw, or we've lost the game, or
I remember
whatever.
some of the games last season when Bournemouth and Roma lost, or Watford were lost. I said, Jesus, that was awful, and we have lost.
Yeah.
And I come away from the game yesterday thinking, do you know what it is? We've had a really tough week and we've got 7 out of 9 points. You know what I mean? You know, you've beat.
But going in this week, I would have happily have taken 4 points. Came away with 6.
Would you not? Would you not?
So
7 were coming away with, not 6.
Oh well, including the week before.
I never thought we'd get anything at Sheffield United, and I didn't think we'd get anything against City.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was thinking maybe a point at Sheffield and three at the weekend gone.
I think that's where you've got to credit everyone, the staff, Bruce, the players, for not giving up. You know what I mean?
Steves.
Like, honestly, and I think John Joe.
Yeah, give all the credit just to Carroll.
To the Steves.
Shelby's been instrumental in this.
He's been great. I've never known him play this well for this long ever in his entire career. I think
this is probably the best he's played.
He's in a right purple patch.
I think I shared it with you. The stat was he scored 6 goals in his last 12 Premier League games. The previous 6 have come over 116.
It's unreal.
I mean, that's, you know what I mean. It's unreal, isn't it?
One final talking point before we close this one. Maximum. So, diamond into the game. He's sprinting for the ball. He's gone. He's left the ground on crutches. He gets pulled to one side by members of the press in the area after the game. And they ask him what's on. All that he says, it's a bad one. So it looks like it's going to be a few weeks that we're going to miss him. And Bruce came out and
apologised. I feel bad about that one, but hey, John, at least he had bars to admit that. Actually, he just says, "Oh, he was fine," and it happened.
Yeah.
But he actually admitted, I did think about not playing him. We've played 3 games, and I feel bad for that last.
But to be fair, like, see, he looks like he gets in any tackling. He looks like he's injured when he comes out of it.
That's who he is.
He's forever hobbling around after he's had a tackle and stuff like that, and it's like
Bruce seemed to give the impression it was January when he'd be back. So you're looking at 4 weeks.
You wouldn't imagine the hurrying back. I mean, if they've lost these 3 games, you get to I think it's a different conversation. You're saying, like, you're risking in front of Busy, but given that they've got 7 points from 3 games and he's scored a Sheffield United, he's just dangerous.
I don't think we'll underestimate the loss he's made give Willing. It's a huge loss. There's no we've only lost 1 in the last 7 games. I think that's when he come in the team. I think that's the Leicester game. So if he didn't play against Leicester, obviously, he's come in the team about after that Leicester game. We haven't lost a game since. It's a huge reason as to why. I'm not saying that he's setting up goals all the time because his stats prove he's not. But
winning games single-handed.
Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? He's a huge loss, an absolute huge loss.
He is.
You know, I don't know what we'll do in terms of do we change formation. I hope we do. But does Joe then maybe go?
That's who comes in, or Joe Linton goes out to the left.
You imagine that would be the natural choice again.
100%.
If there are questions coming.
100%. There's questions coming. Or is it? Right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all later. Love, Andy Carroll.